What's up, going on, legends? Welcome back to the channel. In today's how to unlock video, we're covering the PPSH Cold War SMG for those of you that are free to play in Warzone. I have gone over this in the past, however, on a different map. Tons of new players have joined since then, and overall there might be some people out there still struggling to unlock this, so I wanted to give you guys an updated version. Before we dive into it, if you guys do enjoy this content at any time or find this video helpful in any way, make sure you show your support for the channel. We're going down below and smashing that like button. Let's go and throw a goal of 50 likes on today's video, as well as if you guys like to find your way back to the channel for more Call of Duty content, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. So we're closing in on 8K subscribers. Now, in order to unlock this, of course, you're going to need to know what that challenge is. So if you go to where you edit your loadout, go over to the SMG category, scroll down to the PPSH for Cold War. Your challenge should be read as follows. Using SMGs, get 3 kills immediately after sprinting in 15 different matches. Now, overall, this is not a difficult challenge, but I first want to talk about what game mode you guys should be playing. Now, this can be done really easily in Rebirth, Blood Money Quads, or even Caldera Clash when those are available, or my highly recommended game mode, which is Plunder. And the reason I always tell people to jump into that is it gives people of all skill levels a little bit more time based on the matches being 10 to 20 minutes to actually get their progress on their challenge. Now, when it comes to jumping into Plunder on Caldera, I highly recommend you guys land at the airfield, as this is where you will find the most engagements. Most people here are going for weapon challenges, overall just trying to level up weapons, and like I said, this is where the most engagements take place, so people know this is the place to land. Now, when you're flying into the map towards the airfield, I always hunt down where I see people are landing, or overall where I'm finding engagements are taking place already, and I try to dive in near that area so that way I can go for instant challenges and increase my odds of getting into the amount of engagements that I need in order to be successful. With this challenge in particular, of course, you are going to get 3 kills immediately after sprinting, so you're going to want to run around like a chicken with your head cut off in order to put yourself in the position to actually eliminate a player while coming out of a sprint and avoid getting those kills when maybe you aren't sprinting. I would say in order to ensure this is going to count, anywhere between 3 and 5 seconds after you've completed a sprint, you should be eliminating an opponent. For this challenge in particular, it can be actually a little bit more effective if you hunt down some money, go over, grab yourself a UAV, so that way you guys can sprint right at them and overall increase your odds of getting out of a sprint, knowing what time you should be ADSing, as you are pretty sure of where the location of those players are. If the way you play is already a run and gun style, you should be set up for success already, as you are probably going to be coming out of a sprint in most of your engagements, and this should count pretty quickly, putting the 3 kills on the board and getting that progress that you're looking for. A super helpful way to actually do this is by running dead silence, which allows you to sneak up on players without them really knowing of your location, and that obviously gives you a heads up in the gunfight, especially if you're coming up behind them. That way you can sprint directly at them, aim down sight when the time is appropriate, and eliminate those players before they actually know you're there. It may also help greatly because you're constantly moving in the circumstance for this challenge to run Ghost, as you will stay off the UAVs that they might get. And I also like to run Battle Hardened so I can avoid being snapshot grenaded, which can increase my odds in winning those engagements. With this, it's going to be more about where you position yourself and overall making sure you get the amount of engagements that you need to be successful, because maybe not every time you get into a gunfight, it's going to be a circumstance where you're going to actually be able to get an opponent eliminated directly after sprinting. But now that we've covered some tips and tricks to make this significantly easier, I do want to dive into the recommended loadout, which is going to be with the Bullfrog from Cold War. Alrighty, for our attachments, we have as follows. For the muzzle, we're running that GRU suppressor. For the barrel, I'm using that 7.4-inch Task Force. For our rear grip, we're running the Serpent Wrap. Magazine, the Spetsnaz 85 round. And under barrel, which is our last attachment, we have that Spetsnaz grip. Now, there's a couple more things I want to dive into before we wrap things up here. As you guys may have noticed, I am recommending you guys a Cold War SMG in order to do this challenge. The reason for that is sometimes when you're using SMGs from the other titles, whether it be Modern Warfare or Vanguard, when trying to unlock a Cold War weapon, you might have issues with the tracking of your challenge, which can extend the amount of time it will take you to get this done, and that's exactly what you're trying to avoid. Now, you do have to do 15 matches for this, so you do not want to make it 20 or 25, so I highly recommend sticking to those Cold War SMGs even if you don't use the recommended setup. Now, the last thing I want to mention is whether or not you can leave the match. In order to tell if it's possible, when you feel confident you've gotten your 3 immediately after sprinting eliminations, you go into where you edit your loadout in-game, scroll down to your PPSH under the SMGs, the one from Cold War specifically. You will see if your progress has tracked. If it seems to have tracked properly, you can then leave that match that you're in, dive into your next one, overall eliminating the amount of time it should take you to get this complete. Now, that's going to wrap things up for us here. Hopefully the tips and tricks I shared alongside the recommended loadout will make this significantly easier for you guys. Thank you guys for all the support in today's video, all the support on the channel. I look forward to seeing y'all in the next one. Peace.